Baja California Sur in Mexico is a rugged piece of land, a narrow peninsula that extends south almost 1,000 miles right into the Pacific Ocean. What makes this area particularly special is you get incredibly warm blue waters hitting deep, cold green waters. Those two currents come together to form these dense nutrient pockets. And these attract all kinds of species, from the smallest forage fish to the greatest consuming predator there is. In fact, Jacques Cousteau called it the aquarium of the ocean. Probably one of the greatest spectacles I've ever witnessed in the oceans is the marlin bait ball. Nature's most fierce predators coming in right off your lens. It's not only humbling, it's also incredibly exhilarating. Your heart is racing as that animal comes at you at 50 miles an hour because you know if it doesn't turn, that bill could slice right through you. The encounters here in Baja, California are second to none. But every so often, you come across that one moment, something new and something unique. Throughout the week, we'd been cruising along the coastline, and we'd come across these disturbances on the water surface. Mobula rays start launching straight into the air, and their wings are flapping as if they're trying to take off. And it starts out with one, then there's two, and then there's half a dozen. And we know something's going on, but we can't quite figure it out. So typically, Mobula rays are quite shy of people. When you swim down towards them, they tend to scatter. But these animals were completely different. They engulfed us. At one point, I remember just drifting down into the circle of these animals, and they were cycloning all around me. And I remember the sun went black because I was so enshrouded by this curtain of Mobula rays. They're cruising around faster and faster like a whirlpool, and it was creating its own current. You could literally see the water swirling. And it was as if they're in some kind of trance. And it struck me that something else is really going on here. It looked to be like a mass courtship ritual. Where all of the animals are focused on one thing, which is finding the right mate. What I noticed was they often form into small groups, and the female takes the lead and the males chase after. They would do this little ritual, and then they would all scurry off into the blue, chasing along the surface, and then make their way back into the group. So we witnessed what would have been done on a small scale, on a much larger scale. It wasn't just a single female and multiple males, but it was an entire collection of males and females at different levels of their maturity. Prior to this, no one had ever documented Mobulas doing such a mass courtship ritual. What this footage does and this story does is put a face on a really important aspect of the life cycle of these animals. It shows that they're using these very specific coastal waters as a reproductive base. And they're creating the next generation of Mobula rays But they're also highly vulnerable here because of the gill nets and longline fisheries that riddle these waters. And so the initiative we have right now to fully protect these coastal waters is only augmented by the fact that we now understand that it's an important home for these mobulas to engage in the first stage in the reproduction of their species. And there's no better way to do that than to capture one of these profound moments, because that can inform protection on a level that we never had before.